Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. I hope you're all doing well, yeah, baby. Man, the world is spinning out of control, and we're here to bring some sense to it, at least for an hour of your time. So how do you do? Welcome to the show, folks. Good to see you. If you are watching on Facebook, hello to you. Welcome to the show. You can also catch this show live every day on the website at howtoappoниos.com. You can watch it in the browser, so that's a cool thing as well. We'll be showing you a little bit of that before we jump into the show too, so that's cool. And let's say hello to my friends over here on YouTube, where we mainly stream over at youtube.com/Jade Starr. That is where we are every day. So let's say hello. Yeah. So Langston Reese is in the house. Deep Gravity. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Gary Hubbs. Ho, ho, ho. It's getting close to that time of the year, Gary. Pete Johns is here. Becky, how are you, Becky? Good to see you. Tom Rochelle has joined us too. And yeah. And the Restream bot is in the house too, bitch. Yeah. Alrighty, so let's jump into some stuff because we've got a whole bunch of interesting things to look at today. Hopefully it's interesting. Let me know, if you like the direction of the show, because it's not only about apps. Sometimes it's about these little projects, how apps can work to do specific things. And so let's jump straight in, and I want to show you a little bit about this because there are a few little changes coming that I've got had planned for a little while, and they're coming to fruition. So if I jump over to the website, as you can see here, this is the How to App on iOS website. If you haven't had a look at it, you can go and do so at any time. There you go. There's a full screen. And when you go there, as you can see, there's the show. So it's always at the top. The daily show is always at the top of the screen there. You can chat from within the browser as well, like if you are here on YouTube. So there's always latest news with whatever's been happening, releases or playlists, new playlists and stuff like that. Some links to other channels like Pete Johns and stuff like that. Then below here, you've got a whole list of playlists that you can jump straight into and watch them all within the browser. So that's really cool. And here at the bottom, you can join the Fatumch. What is the Fatumch? The Fatumch. The Fatumch is my weekly newsletter. So if you sign up here, you'll be let know what's coming on for the weekend, and it will all connect what's coming for the next week ahead in stuff. And it'll connect to my Patreon once that is up, which I'm expecting to be next week. Yay. And you can let me know. You can always let me know in the comments if there's any apps you'd like me to look at, any kind of things you'd like me to do, any suggestions, all that kind of stuff. So be aware, you can join the Fatumch. And what is a Fatumch? You're going to have to look up the young ones to find out what a Fatumch is. A Fatumch is a safe space for creativity, and that's what this is. It is the Fatumch. That is what it's all about. So we can jump out of there. What are we looking at today? We are looking at today an app called Aparillo. Now, this app is made by Sugar Bytes. It's not a brand new app by any stretch. It's been out for a little while now, but it's something that I've kind of just stumbled across while I was doing a search throughout the App Store for interesting apps that could make soundscapes or horror effects, because I'm back working on my film diligently to try and get it out by early next year, and I'm looking for some textures. And you would have noticed the last few apps that I've been looking at have really been about textures and soundscapes and some really crazy stuff instead of just normal synth stuff, because that's where I'm at the moment. And you can never have enough textures in no matter what kind of music that you make. Even if it's pop or jazz or whatever, you can always layer pads, noise and textures and things like that. The rain's just kicked in here, I can hear. Oh, yeah. So we've got a few more people who've joined us on the chat here, which is, let me have a look. Hello to Russ. Welcome aboard. Stu Cash, good to see you as well, my friend. Man, my coffee tastes so much better each morning out of my Studio Live Today cup mug that Pete John sent me. All right, so what I'm going to do today is we're going to run through a little bit of the app and show you some of the cool things you can do with the app. And then we're going to jump in and try and apply it to my film that I'm working on and take a few scenes out of my film, and we'll see what we can get going. A lot of it's going to be hit and miss because, hey, we're live and it's all about making mistakes. So that's a cool thing too. So what setup do we have today? We actually have set up, now I need to remember this. So we have a cam over here with my desk, and yes, it's messy, but I'm a very creative mind, and I like my messy desk. It helps me be more organized in my brain. So I've got my MIDI keyboard down here, which is sitting as usual on my drum stool. My actual keyboard stands over there, but what we also have is no, please promote, Pete. StudioLiveToday.merch. Is that what it is? StudioLiveToday.com/merch. Is that what it is? I think so, Pete. Just put the link in the address. God's sake, Pete. What are you doing? If you want to grab some of Pete's merch, and you can get that merch there. And look, it's a cool cup, man. Look at that. There's proof I've got it. So Studio Live Today. All right. So as you can see here, I've got my laptop set up, and this is running the film over here. I've got my iPad so you'll be able to see what I'm doing, and we can jump out of here. This is my phone, which controls my scenes and everything, so I can skip over to my iPad, back to my main screen here, and I have a desktop combination here, as you can see, because I'll just bring this film forward so you can see I've got my film running side by side with the iPad, so you can see exactly what's going on. There you go, Pete. Thank you very much. StudioLiveToday.com/merch. See, I know the address off by heart. Anyone would think that I work for you or something like that. Which I don't. It's all love, man. It's all thumb love. Oh, God, that sounded wrong, didn't it? Can I take that back? All right, so let's jump into what we're doing today because what have we got? So if you are new to the channel as well, you can subscribe, but make sure if you're going to subscribe that you do watch the content, because there's no point doing it if you are not watching the content. And if you do enjoy the content each time you watch, leave a thumbs up, because it helps the algorithms and all that shit, which is cool. All right, so this app today, I will start off with, it is a free download initially. Okay, so it's free to download. Here it is here. So as I said, it's by Sugar Bytes, and they're a very reputable company. This app actually started out on the desktop. Welcome aboard, Benedict Stewart in the chat as well. Good to see you too. So this started off as a desktop app, and it's very complex. I will be honest, what I'm going to show you today, there is no way I can cover the depth of this app. So what I have done is put in the description a link to the Sugar Bytes Aparillo playlist, which is underneath the link to actually download the app, which is free, so I recommend you do. And it's an 8-part series which really breaks down the entirety of the app. There's no way I can go through it all today. It is super deep. So it started out on the desktop, and then they moved it to the iPad. Thank God, because it's very cool. So as I said, it's free, but here's the catch. So it does have an in-app purchase, and as you can see here on my main screen, Australian dollars is $27.99. So if you guys want to work that out, I don't have the means to work it out what it is US. What's that? I don't know, $16 or something like that. And what it unlocks is a whole lot more presets, and it unlocks the ability to use it as an AUV3 plugin. So if you're just getting it for free, you can't use it as an AUV3 plugin, but you can play with it till you fucking melt, all right? Till you disappear into the ether. So that's a cool thing. So I recommend you download it, have a play with it, see if it's going to be a tool that's worth being while in your arsenal. And let me just close that. Bye-bye. God, I forgot, because I'm using my desktop sound today, I forgot I'm going to get notifications pop through on my desktop. All right. So there's the app information, and how I'm going to be running this app today is through AUM. And next week we are looking at AUM, so you can all get a better understanding. So this is AUM down here. Let me just jump to this camera for a bit so you can see what I'm doing with my hands here. AUM, I have it down here. We'll open it up. And you're presented, if you haven't used it or you've seen it a couple of times on here, this is kind of like think of it like a patch bay, right? So you can add apps to it, add AUV3 or inter-app audio to it, and then you can chain them all together and have multiple things, and then you can send them out to other programs, like another DAW or something, and you can connect a keyboard to them as well. So let's start off. Go back to the iPad screen here. So you hit the plus sign to start a new track, and we want audio. And there's my first AUM track. Now this top button is where we're going to add in Aparillo, and it's an AUV3 audio unit extension. So we're going to click on that. And here's the cool thing about this. If you just pull down, you get a search button, because I've got a lot of AUV3 plugins here. I can just type the first 2 letters. And there we go. So it's now added Aparillo into this little track here. All right. So, but if I hit the keyboard, hit the little piano keys here, there's no sound. Right? Nothing there. If I hit my keyboard as well down here, you can only hear me thumping it away. So how do we get this all connected? Okie dokie. Let's go back here. So up the top here, there's this little squiggly thing with an arrow on the end. When I click on that, it gives me this whole setup here. A little, what do we call it? It's a thing. It's a thing. Let's call it a thing for now, because I can't be fucked thinking anywhere past a thing. And what I'm going to do is click on the Aparillo, and what it does is it gives me all these options to link Aparillo to my keyboard. So this one down here is the actual on-screen keyboard. So I want to link it to that, and I want to link it to my MIDI keyboard. So you can see it's put these lines across here from Aparillo to both of those. So now I can close that, and Aparillo is all hooked up. So when I touch the keyboard here, I've got sound, and then when I touch my keyboard here, I've got sound. So I've got 2 options there to use, the on-screen keyboard or down here. So I hope that's given you a little understanding of how this thing works. And just think, you can add a whole heap of these. You can add 20 of these things and have all different things running at the same time. So it's really, really cool. All right. Now, once you've got this open, once you've got this added in here, all you need to do is click on it, and it brings up what the actual app does. And you can make it larger, you can make it smaller, and here is the app itself. Now, as I said at the beginning of this, there's a lot of depth to this app. There's so many hidden things. It is just super crazy. All right. And what I'm going to do is make sure we are set up from the basic sound that you get when you first load it up, which is... Okay, sounds like Donkey Kong. Start of Donkey Kong anyway. And you'll see all the buttons across here are all down to 0. All these little buttons are all at 0. And then you got this crazy thing in the middle going up and down, colliding with each other and bouncing back and forward. Now, there are 2 main screens to this app. So there's this screen here. And if I move my cursor over to this little logo up here in the top corner and click that, it takes me to this little universe. Okay. Now, all of these things around here are all different kind of effects that are in this universe. And this little thing in the middle is like a little orb that I can actually move around with my finger. And as you see, when I move it to these little cool effects, they actually link to it as you get closer to them. And you can bring these things in. So you might want these few effects in all around it, and you may want the other ones out. And as you move it around, it pulls the effects into the chain. Pretty cool, huh? So that's one of your screens, which we'll have a look at that a little bit later. And back to the main screen here. Let me know if you're following along and I'm not going too fast, because somebody told me the other day I don't explain things clearly enough. All right, so let's just start fucking around with this thing, yeah? So, as you know, pretty bland shit, right? Just sounds like a frequency. right, so let's just start playing with it. I'm just going to hit a single key here, and you'll see I'm lifting these knobs here. I'm going to go from left to right, so you won't see my mouse. And let's just see what difference happens. Cool. So that's interesting, yeah? Let's play with the other side now. Right, so remember what this show's about today is I'm trying to get some really cool horror effects, some really disturbing kind of noises to go alongside with my film. So look, straight off the bat, that's pretty cool, yeah? Kind of got a real factory sound going on. So what I'm going to do straight away is, up here, this is where your sound bank is. If I click on that, it brings up all your presets. I can hit save, and straight away I'm going to save this as, let's just call this a factory noise, and hit save, and that goes into my little folder. And I've spelt noise wrong, that's all right. Can I edit that? Let's see. I don't think I can, but as you see, when you scroll down here, you've got your little user presets down the bottom here. So when I click on there, I've already got 3 in there, so that's really cool. I can probably delete that. Let's delete. Let's click on the factory noise one, and then we'll rename it because I'm a dick, yeah? Oops, where are we? User, delete factory noise, and we'll rename that. Just so I don't look totally stupid, yeah? Totally. I'll probably spell it wrong again. Factory noise. There we go. Go. So that's saved there. And now, oh, did I lose the sound? Oh, man. That would be right. That's bloody typical. Let's bring it back, because it was pretty easy to get. Alrighty, so let's try saving it again as factory noise 1. Let's just put a 1 there. There we go. Done deal. Now if we go over to this orbit, let's see what this does. It's not doing anything at the moment. That's because I'm thinking ahead of myself. So as you can see, you've got an LFO button down. You've got 2 LFOs down here that you can alternate. So if I hold down the key again, So basically, along here, these knobs here, I'll just bring my cursor back. Along here, when you click on each of these, you can actually assign the LFO to each of them. And you've got a whole lot of options here too. So you've got a whole lot of these waveforms here. Can I scroll there? So you've got flat and a whole different lot of waveforms. You can assign them to your mod wheels and things like that. And so this is really cool. You can really finite all these buttons, all these sections here, and get in and change them all up. So let's hit another key and play with this. It changes to the LFO too. So you can see this cross in the middle. I'm able to switch between the two of these. And create some pretty hellish kind of stuff. But let's have a look at some of these other effects that are built into it, okay? Oops, I've lost my keyboard there. I didn't mean to do that. Where did I go? Did I turn it off? Let's bring that back. That sucks. Where'd it go? Where'd my keyboard go? My keyboard disappeared. Sorry about that, folks. Let's bring it back. There we go. Cool. So let's have a look at some of the built-in stuff within here. So as you can see, there's a whole lot of different stuff. So we've got all these presets here: ambience, atonal, bass, bells, brass, cinematic, drones, drums, a whole lot of things in here. Let's have a look at some cinematic stuff just to kick off. I'm just going to skip through a bunch of them. Now, some of them go straight to this universal thing, right? Now, if I hit a key, you'll notice each time I hit it, it moves in a pattern. So just to show you on my keyboard, every time I'm hitting a key, it starts again back at that point. So how is it doing that? Let's give you a look, because it's really cool, all right? You'll notice up the top here, there's a little record button. Let's go back to full screen so you can see it. There's a little record button just up here. Now, if I hold that down, oops, what it allows me to do is record a pattern. So watch this. I'll hold down record, and I'll move this around, swirl it around, and then stop. So now every time I hit a key, it follows that pattern. Here's another thing. So if I just touch anywhere on the screen and move my finger, it actually changes the whole, like randomizes this whole setup. So now when I I've still got the same pattern there, but now everything's moved around. And you can move these individual sections wherever you like. All right. So it's pretty damn cool. You can create some hellish shit as we go on a little bit further into it. And at any time, you can just click back here, this little logo up the top, and you come back to this screen where you can go ahead and change these things up. All right, but let's go through a few more of these effects. So I'm just going to flick through some. Now again, you can see this little orb here, it's sitting there right in the, it's got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are connected to it. But at any time, I can hold down a key. See, now this is another thing. You can actually assign on your keyboard actual keys, MIDI keys, to make that orb land in different places. So if you have a look here, when I hit different keys, watch where it starts each time. So it's got a lot of depth to it. You can really fuck with this a lot and get it to do some crazy shit. And at any time, you can just hold down a key and move this orb around. Let's grab it. Why can't I grab it right now? There we go. So we'll just hook these up. As you can see, I'm just moving. And as you can see down here on my keyboard, I'm only holding one key down. And I'm able to create a multitude of effects and sounds, textures. I can bring them all in together. Pretty sick, yeah? Now you can change the record time of the patterns that it runs in and things like that. So let's just, for now, I'm going to grab that and save that for later on when we look at this film. Let's just call that Egypt, because it had a real kind of Egyptian sound just by fucking around with those sounds there. So let's go back to where we were in here, back in cinematic, and where are we? And so that's the one we're on, and let's go through a few more of these sounds. So as you can see, when I'm changing these too, it's changing the whole setup here. pretty cool, yeah. Actually, don't know. Am I still actually live? I should actually check. Yeah, it says I'm still live. So everything's cool. I think I've lost my chat. I don't know if anybody's chatting or not. Let me have a look because, where are we? This is my live control panel. And let's have a look. Cool, so we are still live. That's good shit. I thought I wasn't live there for a second. It's bizarre. Really sick stuff with this, yeah? Let's go back to the iPad screen here. Let's go through a few more sounds. And again, even just by grabbing this plus here, sick shit, man. This app is bloody incredible. So let's look over here again at this. See, look at this the little orb's just doing its own thing. Now, every time I hit a key, watch it do its shit, man. It's following this pattern, going around. And then it stops at its point. But I can take this orb. I don't know even how to... God, I was doing it fine earlier. I think I have to turn off this. That's how I do it. So I can, up here, this little orbiter. So that's what's called. I was getting it right. It is called an orb. So when I click up here on the little orbiter button where you can control it, you see this was selected. So that's the little loop thing that keeps it going around in circles. When I turn that off, it gives me free range over this orbiter. So you can actually start to, let's try and spread these out. You can start to hear what each thing does, right? So if I hold down a key, fuck, man, I love this thing. I think it's just, I think it's mind-blowing that this thing is on an iPad. Just absolutely incredible stuff. Excuse me while I have a bit of coffee. Look, there's so many presets, but we'll run through a few, and then we'll jump over to have a look at so we'll look at a few more of them, then we'll jump over, have a look at my film, and we'll try and incorporate them live into the film. So some of the ones that I've saved already as presets, we'll try and see how they sound with the film and the soundtrack that I already have in a few parts. And, this is a really cool way. So how I'm going to use this in the film, I'll just tell you now, is so I already, once the film's all put together, if there's any of these sound effects I want to put in, I can just go into something like LumaFusion and pull the audio from the actual film once it's the main film, put it into GarageBand or, anything else that I can, run this program into. And then I can add those effects live while I'm playing along to the soundtrack of the movie. So I could even do it in Aurea. Aurea has a really fantastic thing where you can import a video into Aurea Pro and have the audio playing, and you can play along with the video. So that would be absolutely sick to do. And once I get down to that stage of finishing my movie, I'm sure you're going to see me using this. I'll definitely do a show on it. So we're only in one section still, only in this cinematic thing. And as you can see, just by pressing one button, you can get so many sounds. So just to put a bit of perspective on it, you'll see when I hold down a key here, if you look over here, you'll see these sliders actually moving around. And that coincides with the actual orbiting section. I'm even going to save that one for this movie thing that we're going to do. So let's hit save. Let's call this we'll call this creepy noise. Hit save. Cool, that one's saved now. Let's go through a few more of these. What was that? What's preset 42 sound like? Is there one? Is there an actual 42? I'm not following. Let's have a look at some other sounds. So we're in cinematic there. What else can we do? So there's lead sounds. What's this Hollywood one? Let's have a listen to some of these. Yeah, this sounds creepy as hell. So remembering, because we're in AUM as well, if we just close out this for a second, you could add, remember last week we looked at Velvet Machine, which had some really great reverb delay kind of things. So we could go in here and add something like... what is it? Let's try this one. So now that we've added that as an effect over here on the side, we can now go back in here and really play with this. Unlock this. All right, so where are we up to? 40. It's actually 42 minutes right now. So let's jump over into my film and we'll do that for a little bit. So there's my film over here. We'll just make sure we've got some sound going. Where are we? So we'll have a play of this. I'm just letting the film play. And the beginning has this really creepy industrial sound. So we'll grab this factory sound. Was it factory noise 1? Yeah. Try something else in here. Let's go with this Egyptian sound. So as you can see, we'll even go into, so I'll just skip that because this is just the intro of the film. So there's a few scenes in here I wanted to play with, like especially this one. So this is the opening scene of the movie, and you'll notice from my video clip that I released yesterday, in the middle of that video clip, there's this scene with the guy putting a gun to his head. So I borrowed a part of my film and inserted that into my video clip. So let's have a look at this, and we'll stick with this sound here. So now you know what sound I've got. And we'll play the scene. And you should be able to hear it along with the movie. And we'll see what we can get going on just live on the fly. Where did my keyboard go? Stopped working there for a second. That's a bummer. Where'd we go? Let's remove her. And we'll just go out of here first. So it's still there. It's just because we have on, sorry about this. See, this is the thing too. This is really the first time I'm using this. So let's pull out this effect here. And we'll try, what else do we have in here? Let's just try to find something on the fly. Yeah, it's a nice pause, isn't it? I didn't even notice that. Look at that shot there. That is a dude blowing his brains out. Shit. A little bit graphic, my film. Let's go back to the bit just before he does it and blows his brains out, and we'll see what we can get going with this sound here. All right, so we'll hit play again. Perfect. So the next scene is this space scene, and I've got this space machine here. Cool. So as you can see, this is like just awesome for getting all these effects in. Like probably what I will do when I'm getting closer to adding effects to this is pulling out all of the actual music behind this and just trying to find. So let's find another scene in here, which is my Terminator scene. So even this song here, this is the main track of the album. This is like from the single, because all this stuff is from my utensils. All the music is from utensils. Let's see if we can find, let's go through some random effects here. Cool, let's just go with that and see what we can just do with what's here in this track.
computers now have primary control of critical functions.
So there you go. So that is Aparillo. Look, I won't go too much. We're at close to the hour, so let's get out of there for today. As you can see, it's pretty damn sick, and I've barely, as usual, scratched the surface of this amazing app. So let your mind run free. You can clearly do some pretty sick stuff. We only looked at 2 sections of presets today, you know, and each one of them, as you have a look, is just absolutely full. A full list in every single one of them. So there's drums in here. You've got lead, synths. Keys, look at them all. Brass. And remember, each one of these sounds can be made just from the beginning of just pulling all these down and starting. I mean, look what I did. I just pulled down a few sliders there. And now we have this. It's definitely an app that you can get absolutely lost in for hours and hours. All right. So there you go. That's today's show. I hope you've got something out of it. I hope, you know, this is something, you, as I said, you can download for free, have a play around with it, get inspired. If it turns out to be something that, you know, you can incorporate into whatever it is that you're making, hit up the in-app purchase and purchase it and support another sick developer, because Sugar Bytes are renowned. They're a fantastic developer. So, it's not much you can say wrong about them. So that is it for today. Tomorrow we have a cool show coming up. We have Gary Hubbs, who's here in the chat. He's coming on the show tomorrow for a live interview. Should be awesome. We're going to chat about heaps of stuff. So join us for the same time, same bat channel tomorrow. If you like the content, leave a thumbs up. Do subscribe as well, but only subscribe if you are interested in listening or watching the shit. As I said, also feel free to jump over to the website and sign up to this newsletter, because I'm going to be kicking off the Patreon next week, which will be really cool. Telling you more about that next week. And that's it, my friends. So if you're watching on the replay and all that jazz, there's a little button that's popped up there to hit the subscribe and a playlist. Thank you very much for all your support as usual. I hope you have an awesome day, and let's hope that Biden wins today. Oh yeah. Sorry for getting political at the end, but as usual, stay cool, stay gangster, and do what makes you happy. That's the most important thing. See you later, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.